For more than 3 decades after John Wayne's death in 1979, his Newport Beach mansion remained sealed off from the world. Locked behind closed doors were his letters, photographs, personal possessions, and untold secrets, items no one was allowed to see. The estate became a time capsule, fueling speculation about what the legendary actor had chosen to hide. In 2011, the doors were finally opened, and what was discovered shocked even longtime admirers. Inside were rare movie memorabilia worth millions, deeply personal writings, and a hidden will that ignited family conflict. These discoveries revealed a side of John Wayne far removed from the confident cowboy image the public knew. Behind the Hollywood legend was a complex man whose private life, financial choices, and personal beliefs had remained buried for decades. This is the untold story of John Wayne's fortune, the family drama that followed his death, and the secrets hidden inside his mansion. John Wayne's journey did not begin in Hollywood glamour. He was born Marion Robert Morrison on May 26, 1907, in Winterset, Iowa. A remarkably large newborn, his birth made local news, hinting at the outsized presence he would one day become. At just 3 years old, Wayne narrowly escaped death after falling into an icy creek, saved by a passing stranger. That moment foreshadowed a lifetime defined by resilience. When his father's business failed, the Morrison family moved west to California in search of stability. Settling in Glendale, young Marion earned the nickname Duke from local firefighters because of his constant companion, an Airedale Terrier also named Duke. The nickname stuck, and Marion soon refused to answer to anything else. The boy from Iowa was beginning his transformation into an American icon. As a teenager, Duke dreamed of football stardom. His size and athletic ability earned him a scholarship to the University of Southern California in 1925, where he played as an offensive lineman for the USC Trojans. But his future collapsed after a body surfing accident shattered his shoulder, ending his football career and costing him his scholarship. Suddenly, without direction or financial support, Duke took whatever work he could find. That search led him to Fox Studios in 1927, where he worked as a low-paid prop man earning just $35 a week. The job was exhausting and unglamorous, but it placed him at the heart of Hollywood. He quietly observed directors, actors, and camera crews, absorbing everything. His first on-screen appearance was uncredited and barely noticeable, but it sparked a dream. Acting became his new goal, even as survival remained a daily struggle. Throughout the 1930s, John Wayne appeared in over 80 low-budget westerns, most filmed in just a few days. Despite the relentless workload, his pay remained small, and fame elusive. Many nights, he survived on canned food and cheap apartments, questioning whether Hollywood would ever reward his persistence. By 1938, he was close to quitting entirely. Then director John Ford intervened. Ford recognized Wayne's natural presence and rugged authenticity, even when studios dismissed him as forgettable. Against strong resistance, Ford cast Wayne as the lead in Stagecoach, 1939. The studio wanted a known star, but Ford refused to compromise. Wayne's performance transformed him overnight. A single iconic close-up established him as a new kind of leading man. Though underpaid for the role, Wayne had finally arrived. Stagecoach earned critical acclaim and redefined the Western genre forever. Wayne's collaboration with John Ford became one of cinema's most influential partnerships, producing 14 films over several decades. Ford's harsh directing style pushed Wayne relentlessly, often humiliating him on set to extract stronger performances. Wayne endured it, understanding that the pressure refined his craft. On screen, he became the embodiment of American masculinity, strong, principled, and unyielding. He carefully controlled his image, rejecting roles that showed weakness or villainy. By the 1950s and 1960s, Wayne was not merely an actor but a cultural symbol. Films like The Searchers, The Alamo, and True Grit elevated him to legendary status. His characters represented courage, independence, and traditional values that resonated deeply with audiences. Yet while his professional image projected certainty and strength, his personal life told a far more turbulent story, one marked by conflict, ambition, and emotional distance. John Wayne's personal life was filled with intense relationships and dramatic conflict. He married 3 times and had numerous affairs. His first marriage to Josephine Saenz produced 4 children but collapsed under the strain of his rising fame and frequent absences. His long affair with Marlene Dietrich ended the marriage. His second marriage to Esperanza Bauer was volatile and dangerous, culminating in a violent confrontation involving a gun. Wayne left and never returned. His third wife, Pilar Palite, was much younger, and although they had 3 children together, the marriage eventually dissolved in all but name. Wayne spent his later years living with his secretary, Pat Stacey. Rumors of other romantic relationships persisted, including speculation about Maureen O'Hara. Despite public admiration, Wayne's private life was marked by instability, emotional distance, and choices that deeply affected those closest to him. Wayne's greatest professional risk came with the Alamo, 1960, a passion project he pursued for over 15 years. Determined to control every detail, he mortgaged nearly everything he owned to finance the film himself. The production was massive, featuring a full-scale replica of the Alamo and thousands of extras. Despite Wayne's dedication, the film struggled financially, leaving him in serious debt. Soon after, Wayne faced a far greater challenge: cancer. In 1964, doctors removed his left lung due to heavy smoking. He went public with his diagnosis, encouraging others to get screened. Though weakened, he returned to work within months. In 1979, he was diagnosed again, this time with stomach cancer. His final role mirrored his real-life struggle. John Wayne died on June 11, 1979, at age 72, leaving behind a grieving nation. After his death, the shock continued with the revelation of his will. Despite decades of fame, Wayne's estate was surprisingly modest. Most notably, his third wife Pilar was excluded entirely, while his children inherited nearly everything. The sale of his beloved yacht, Wild Goose, shortly before his death raised further questions. For over 30 years, his Newport Beach mansion remained untouched. When it was finally opened in 2011, more than 700 personal items were discovered, including handwritten letters, rare photographs, and memorabilia. One of the most surprising items, his driver's license, sold at auction for nearly $90,000. Among the possessions was a sealed letter whose contents were never revealed, adding yet another layer of mystery. Even in death, Wayne controlled his narrative, leaving behind unanswered questions about his intentions and his true legacy. John Wayne's legacy faced renewed controversy decades later. In 2019, a 1971 Playboy interview resurfaced, revealing deeply offensive and racist statements. Public reaction was immediate and intense. Longtime fans were forced to reconcile the actor they admired with views now widely condemned. The backlash reached institutions that honored his name, including John Wayne Airport and the University of Southern California. Protests and debates erupted over whether these tributes should remain. Some argued that Wayne was a product of his time, while others insisted his views were inexcusable. His son defended him, claiming the comments were misunderstood. The debate reignited a broader cultural question: can art be separated from the artist? Wayne's films remain influential, but for many, knowing his personal beliefs has permanently altered how they view his work. John Wayne remains one of the most complex figures in American film history. He was a symbol of strength, independence, and resilience, shaping the Western genre and influencing generations of filmmakers. Yet behind the iconic cowboy image was a deeply flawed man, one whose personal struggles, controversial beliefs, and secretive choices complicate his legacy. The contents of his sealed mansion, the disputes over his fortune, and the resurfacing of his past words all challenge the myth that once surrounded him. His story forces us to confront flaws. John Wayne's image still looms large, but it is no longer untouchable. Whether seen as a legend or a cautionary tale, his legacy continues to provoke debate, and perhaps that is his final, lasting impact. Uncomfortable questions about history, accountability, and remembrance. Should we judge figures of the past by modern standards, or preserve their cultural contributions despite their